Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever you are joining me. I'm Rose of Wild Rose Movement and Yoga, and today I'd like to offer a movement practice. The yoga I teach is slow, mindful, Hatha yoga. So if you're used to a power yoga or a vinyasa flow, this will be quite different. This yoga invites you into your body and into your breath, and hopefully can bring you a little sense of ease and balance in these troubled times. You may want a block or a cushion to start. We'll be seated, and you can place that underneath your hips to lift the hips and allow the knees to open. So you can use a yoga block. I have a meditation cushion, or you can just grab a pillow. If that's not you today, then just seated on the floor is fine. And we're going to start with some grounding. We'll do some work on the floor, stand and do some work there, and then come back down to the mat for meditation at the end. So come to a nice, comfortable position. You don't have to have the legs crossed. You can lay down on your back if that's you today. Wherever you are, feel the spine nice and long. You can soften the gaze into the distance or gently close the eyes. Now bring your awareness into your body and hook into the breath. As you inhale, feel the breath expand the lungs and the belly. And as you exhale, see if you can soften the shoulders, letting go of any tension that may be building up in the upper body. Today I'll come back to the theme of letting go throughout the practice. And that may be physical, mental, emotional. We all have something we need to let go of. Inhaling nice and tall as if you're being lifted up by the crown of your head. And then exhaling, soften through the upper body. As you move through practice, I'll ask that you move with the pace and rhythm of your own breath. In my live classes, everyone's going at their own tempo. And I'd like you to do the same. Mapping the movement to your breath. I also ask you to trust yourself, so maybe just listen to my words and see how that translates into your body, rather than feeling like you have to constantly look at the screen and mimic what I'm doing. At times I may pause to put emphasis on something, and you can continue moving through whatever movement we've set up while I'm explaining and demonstrating. I ask that you let go of any self-judgment, any feelings of things you can't do. Just be present, meeting yourself where you are today. We'll start with some slow movement just to learn that mapping movement to breath. So on your next exhale, waiting for your next exhale, drop an ear towards shoulder. As you inhale, bring the head back to a neutral position. And as you exhale again, drop the ear toward the opposite shoulder. Continue moving in this way with the breath. Noticing where you're holding tension in the neck. And see if you can make that movement one smooth arc from ear to ear. The head comes next back to the center. Take a little pause there. Drop the right ear toward the right shoulder. Take the left fingertips down toward the earth. And see if you can notice a sensation of stretching through the neck here. And on your next exhale, roll the nose toward the shoulder and pull the hands behind you just a bit. See how that changes things. As you inhale, bringing that arm back up, head back to neutral, exhaling the other ear towards shoulder, and taking fingertips down toward the earth, reaching nice and long. And on your exhale, nose towards shoulder, take the fingertips behind just a bit, and notice the sensation there. And inhaling back to center, we're going to start the practice lying on our backs on the mat. So you can move any accessories that you have. Come down to the mat. And here you have options. You can take the legs long, or you can bring the feet to the floor. So if you have discomfort in the hips and low back when the legs are long, you can keep the feet here. And for now, if you like, you can drop the knees in to support each other, palms down to the earth. Tuck the chin gently so the back of the head ramps up and the spine is nice and long. Now notice here, and you can even slide a hand under the back to see that natural little curve in the low back. And we want to keep that neutral spine, including the lumbar curve, through everything we're doing today. Planting the hands and feet broadly into the earth. Bringing a little brace to the low belly, but keeping that natural curve. Tucking the bottom ribs in just a bit and lengthening through the back of the head. Just notice how the ground feels here. And again, you can close the eyes if you're comfortable. On your next breath, bringing the arms out at shoulder height so the fingertips are pointing toward the ceiling. And we're just going to roll the wrists a little bit. So roll whatever that means to you, circling the wrists, and then find a way to map that to the breath. Keeping the shoulder blades down to the earth, nice and relaxed. And as you complete the next circle, take a pause and start to move in the opposite direction. Maybe open the fingers wide, getting some blood flow into the wrists and hands. And then drop the arms back down to the earth. Lift the knees, so the knees are over the hips, shins are parallel to the floor, and bring a little flex to the feet as if you're standing on an invisible wall, so toes point to the ceiling. And we're going to do the same thing with the ankles here, so just circling the ankles. They can go the same direction, opposite directions, however it feels right in your body. Keeping that little brace and that little space. And as you complete that next circle, taking a pause and moving into the opposite direction. If you feel any cracking or popping through the joints, that's okay as long as there's no pain. And then release down. Take the feet out a little wider so they're toward the edges of the mat. And we're going to windshield wiper the knees, so you'll see this quite a bit through my classes. What we do is exhale, drop both knees toward one side. Inhale the knees back towards center, and then exhale knees to the other side. And again, this goes with your inhale and exhale, so you may be moving faster than me or slower than me. And then start to add the head in the opposite direction of the knees. So as the knees drop to the right, the head drops to the left, and vice versa. Keep the feet active by bringing a little flex into the toes. Really notice the sensation of rolling the soles of the feet from edge to edge. And when you feel even on both sides, you can bring the knees back up and walk the feet in so the knees are in line with the hips and the feet are in line with the knees. Hands pressed to the earth. You might want to walk your feet back toward your hips just a bit. We're going to do a few gentle hip bridges. So on your inhale, press to the heels, squeeze your glutes, lift the hips, and on the exhale, gently set them back down. Now the knees may want to fall into each other or out to the sides. See if you can keep them in line with the hips. Invite a sensation of squeezing the inner thighs. And keep the feet active as you press down. Now the shoulders stay in contact with the mat, so we're not lifting up onto the neck. And the eyes stay at the ceiling, so once you get the hang of it, you don't have to look at me. And the next time you lift, take a little pause there. Keeping the hips lifted, a little squeeze in the butt. Now without moving the heels, invite the sensation of pulling the heels back toward you. See if you can shift the knees forward a bit. Breathe. Let go of any extra effort you're holding in the upper body. And on your next exhale, gently set the hips back down. Walk the feet a little wider. And windshield wiper from side to side, releasing tension in the hips and low back. All right, we're gonna wake up the core muscles here, starting by lifting the knees over the hips. And again, keeping that little neutral spine, space between your low back and the mat. Active feet, toes pointing to the ceiling. Hands come up over the shoulders. Now take your right hand across to your right knee and find some tension. So pressing knee into hand as hand is into knee. As you inhale, drop heel toward floor, take arm back, and as you exhale, realign over shoulder and hip. So you're activating one side of the body with a static hold, and then working into the other side of the body with our dead bugs. Feel out into the length of the arm through the fingertips. And don't forget to breathe. One more. All right, pause. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So knees over hips. Left hand comes to right knee. Arm up. Inhale to the ground and exhale back to center. Now keep that tension between hand and knee and hand. Lightly tap the heel down. And that arm doesn't have to touch the floor in the back, especially if the low ribs begin to lift. Can you push a little more tension here? Breathe. And then hug both knees into the chest. Take a little rock side to side. Rolling yourself up and over, coming onto hands and knees. So you can stay on your mat here. I may turn just to demonstrate, so you can stay here on the mat. We're stacking the elbows and wrists right under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Eye gaze forward and slightly down to keep the head aligned. We don't want to be looking back toward our knees. There's nothing exciting going on there, I promise. So nice long spine, brace to the core. We're going to do some cat and cow. So if you're familiar, please feel free to go right ahead. What that looks like is exhaling, tucking the chin, arching up to the back. Inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the eyes, lifting the tailbone. Each exhale rounds the back. And each inhale drops the belly. Now keep that little brace in the belly, even as we drop into cow pose. And try sending some weight into the front part of the hand so you're not collapsing into the wrist. So spread the fingers, press through the fingertips. Maybe start at the tailbone this time. See if you can roll from tailbone to crown of head. And then reverse tailbone to crown of head. As you're in cat next time, with your chin tucked and your back arched, push the floor away, really arch up through the back, protract those shoulders, press the tops of the feet down for stability, breathe. And on your next inhale, drop the belly, lift the eyes, lift the hips. Find a little pause there. Roll the shoulder blades down the spine. Breathe. And then sinking into a child's pose. So taking the knees as wide as you like. Here you can place your block or cushion under the head. You can stack the hands or fists under the forehead, or you can release the forehead all the way down into the earth. Now, child's pose here is for a little rest. If that does not feel restful in your body, you can come all the way down to the floor into our chalk outline position and breathe. Now, wherever you are, the belly is a little compressed here. So start sending the breath into the back ribs. So expanding the lungs to the back heart space. And on your next breath, coming back up, resetting with those hands right under the shoulders, knees under the hips, nice long neutral spine. And here we're going to start to lengthen the legs. So as you inhale, leg comes straight out behind. As you exhale, bring it back under the hip. And inhale, switch sides. Now really brace the core. See if you can keep the hips level. As you push that leg out behind, press through the heel, flexing so the toes point to the floor. Now, if your balance feels okay here and you'd like to add the arm, it'll be opposite arm. Don't try to do the same side. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And just notice where you're holding tension. So if the shoulders start to creep up to the ears, breathe and let go. Pull that belly in nice and tight. That's going to help with your balance. And the next time one side is lifted, take a little pause there. I'm going to turn just to show you. So you can pause here with the arm out in front and leg out behind. And if you'd like to add a little more challenge, you can take that arm and leg out to the side, press through the heel, reach through the fingertips. Breathe, spine nice and long, soft elbow in the front. And when you're ready, bring it down. Other side, straight out to start, and you can stay here. You can keep the hand down. And then if you're ready and that's where you want to go today, if that's not you, keep it where you want to be. This is your practice. If you're holding, hold on, breathe, 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 breathe. And bring it down, shift it back, knees wide, rest position, child's pose, or down to the belly on the floor. All right, coming back up to hands and knees. We're going to do some thoracic spine rotations. So you can stay on hands and knees for this, or you can come down onto forearms, and I'll show you what both look like. One hand is going to come behind the head. As you inhale, take the arm wide, and as you exhale, bring it back in. So if you're on hands and knees, same concept, inhaling and exhaling. Feel that stretch all the way out through the elbow. Brace the core. And see if you can keep the hips level so that rotation comes from the upper back. And as you complete the next one, release down and set up the same thing other side. So again, hand behind the head, inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. If you're on hands and knees, you're here. We tend to get really tight through that upper back just from lifestyle stuff. Being on the computer, driving, the phone, tension. So anytime we can bring mobility into that upper back, it's a bonus. All right, release down. You can take another child's pose. We're not going to be here long. We've got more stuff to do, so breathe. And then coming back up to hands and knees, restacking the arms. Slight bend in the elbow so we're soft. We don't want to hyperextend and push that arm forward. Now, something a little different. So keeping the spine nice and long. As you inhale, walk the hands over. As you exhale, pull back. So you're reaching those fingertips and pulling the hip back toward the heel. As you inhale, back upright. Exhale through center. And then inhale other side. Exhale to pull back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, walk. Inhale, walk. Exhale, pull. Notice where your mind is. And think about where you can let go. Maybe an expectation you have for yourself. Maybe something physical. Maybe you're clenching the jaw or furrowing your brow. Can you be in the moment and let go of everything else? And when you come back to the side you started on, and you pull back, take a little pause. So you can take the knees a bit wider if you like. You can bring the arm under the forehead, but really pull back. So you're reaching those fingertips as far as you can, pulling back all the way to that same hip, dropping it to the heel and stretching out the side body, the muscles between the ribs which help you breathe. On your next inhale, bring it back up, walk it over, and as you exhale, sink into it on the other side. So same thing, make the knees wide, hips comfortable, pull back, actively opening the rib cage. Let go of any extra effort. And then coming back to the center, a little rest, breathe. And then back up to hands and knees, and we're gonna come up to standing. Bring yourself up all the way, and you can face whichever way on your mat. I'm gonna face the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. My arms might go out of frame, but I'm not doing anything too fancy with the hands, so we're good there. Coming into our mountain pose. So the heels are right under the hips. So think of your sit bones. Press down from the sit bones into the heels. Then feel the length from the tops of the feet up into the front hips, those little hip protrusions you can, feel in the front. Arms are nice and long. Lift and spread the toes and then gently set them back down. So you feel the four corners of your feet connect to the mat. Feel the length of the arms from the shoulders down into the fingertips and from the palms back up into the side body. Now pull that belly button up and in toward the spine, and the shoulders pull back so the ribs may lift, and we want to tuck the ribs back down. Slide the shoulders down as if you're trying to push them into your back pockets, and then close the front of the body by dropping the sternum and pulling the belly up and in. Broaden the hands and feet, lengthen the arms and legs. See if you can subtly just tip your chin a little tiny bit. So we're not pulling the chin back like this. We're just sliding the jaw back in space a little to see if we can align the occipital bone in the back of the head with the midline of the shoulder blades and the tailbone. It's our nice, long, straight spine. And once you get there, breathe. You can soften your eyes if you like. And try shifting your weight from side to side. So just a little side to side action to see how that feels, to weight each foot differently. And then bring that back into a balance so you're even on both feet. And then do the same thing forward and back. So if this is too much balance work for you and you're like, no, I'm just going to stand here, hey, that's fine with me. Maybe a little forward and back, and then land right in the center. So your balance, not just from side to side, but forward and back and planted down into the earth. Mountain pose or Tadasana. Maybe think about what a mountain is to you. Permanent, strong, ever watchful. Invite your own sensations into the posture. I'm going to give you a little moving meditation sequence. So I'll show you from this side and then I'll turn to the side and show you. And then I just want you to bring that rhythm into your body and use this as a way to be present. Okay, without worrying about what's for lunch or what your kids are doing in the other room. Just bring yourself into your body, into the breath. As you inhale, the hands are going to go up overhead. The palms are meeting overhead. I know you can't see that. As you exhale, bringing the hands down the midline, pulling the belly button in, bending the knees deeply, and dropping the chest over the thighs, crown of head toward the floor. Now the hands do not have to touch the floor, but you can release them down toward the floor. As you inhale, slowly rolling up, one vertebrae at a time, stacking the vertebrae, head comes last. And then as you exhale, landing in that mountain pose, strong and stable and grounded. So I'm going to show you from the side. Again, as you inhale, arms sweep overhead, eyes can lift to meet the hands. As you exhale, hands through heart center, knees start to bend, belly pulls in, release crown of head and fingertips. As you inhale, like a rag doll, rolling up slowly, head last. And as you exhale, strong mountain pose. Now keep repeating the sequence. I'm going to do it with you as well because it's awkward for me to just stand here. So inhaling, just let it come. Notice any feelings that arise. Think about what you can let go of. Notice where you're holding resistance. Get curious about it. What are you feeling right now? Is your mind telling you stories? And can you let them go? Can you let go of things you can't control right now? And then notice what you can control. Your movement, your breath, your reactions. The next time you come to mountain pose, take a pause there. Breathe. Now let the arms grow really heavy and just turn from side to side. We're going to do some balance now, and anyone who's been to any of my classes knows that I love tree pose, so we're going to do some tree pose. And what you'll do is shift weight into the left leg and bring the right foot in. So the toe can stay down, that's going to give you a little more stability, or you can bring that foot up into the calf or into the inner thigh if that's where you'd like to go today. Now once you get there, hands will come to heart center. This hip is going to want to pop out to the side, so bring it back in so you're lined up nice and tall, hip over the heel and right in line with the shoulder. Knee comes wide and the belly braces, that's going to help with your stability. Soften through the shoulders so you're not holding any tension. And again, tap down if you need that little stability. Breathe. And then release, shake it off. All right, we're going to do it again with the option to grow the tree by taking your arms wide. So shift weight into that left leg, right foot comes in, pull the hip under the shoulder, press the palms, and as you press the palms, see if that can lift you up nice and tall through the collarbone. Knee comes wide, and you can stay here if this is your tree today, that's beautiful. If you'd like to take the arms up, reach as high as you can, feel all the way up to the fingertips. And once you feel steady, if you'd like to lift the eye gaze, reach the eyes all the way up to the ceiling. And when you're ready, release down, shake it off. I'm having some technical difficulties, so I'm gonna have to splice these videos together. Anyway, tree pose, one more time on that side. Shift weight into the left leg, right leg comes in, bring the belly in, press the palms, lift up through the chest, and then if you'd like, you can take it there. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So shift weight into the right foot now, bring the left foot in, open the knee, brace the belly. Now think of pulling everything into the midline. Activate the feet, press the palms, lift up nice and tall, open knee, breathe, and shake it off. Again. Now we're tree experts now, right? So pull it all in, press, lift, breathe, light toes, right? And then, if you'd like, remember balance is not a destination. It is a process. Feel your body here. Feel it moving. Feel it keeping you where you want to be. Release. One more time on that side. Bring it in, open, lift, stay, or take it where you'd like to go. Remember, balance, different day to day, different side to side. But it's something we have to work on so we keep it throughout our lives. And let it go, shake it off. All right, arms heavy. Let's twist it out. All right, we're gonna make our way back down to the floor. Come onto your back. Right foot crosses over the left knee. So we're in that figure 4 position that you're familiar with usually if you take workout classes. This is how we stretch the glutes. So the knee's open, the foot is flexed, the arms are straight out, and we're going to do a little dynamic twist. So as you breathe, and it doesn't matter here, inhale or exhale, you can figure that out on your own with this one. You're going to drop that foot toward the floor. So foot comes to the floor and arms reach back overhead, so you're in that nice twist. Then on the next breath phase, you come back up. So you can inhale or exhale here. And then when you do that opposite breath, you come back up. Now we're starting to come down to the end of practice, so we're releasing even more effort. Where can you find ease in this? Are you finding a nice stretch through the side body as you drop toward the floor? Maybe you're feeling a little oblique work in that side waist. That's okay too. Keeping both feet active, arms nice and long. And the next time that foot drops toward the floor, you can release the arms so you can let them go out to the sides. You can have cactus arms. Try to keep that back shoulder down toward the earth and drop the knees. Now, if this doesn't feel great, you can unhook that top knee. Try taking your eyes in the opposite direction of the knees. Knees heavy, shoulders heavy, breathe. And we're going to do same thing other side. So bring the knees up, left foot crosses over, knee is open, toes are flexed, fingertips up. As you breathe, drop toward the floor, and that foot does not have to touch the floor. We're just turning the hips and reaching the arms back to get that beautiful twist sensation through the spine. Relax the expression from your face. Feel into the hips, into the shoulders. And notice how this side feels compared to the other side. We're all asymmetrical, some more than others. I'm pretty asymmetrical, so I definitely feel a difference on this side. I'm a little tighter. And the next time that foot drops toward the floor, release the arms however it's comfortable for you. Eye gaze, opposite direction of the knees. You can unhook if that makes you more comfortable. Just settle in. And bringing the knees back up to center, feet to the floor, walk them out to the edge. And we're going to finish where we started. So a little windshield wiper. Exhale, knees to side, eye gaze opposite the knees. Inhale, eyes lift, knees lift. Exhale, other side. And notice how this feels different now from when we started. Is there anything else you can let go of? Feel the breath. Soften through each movement. And when you come back up to the center, let me give you several options here as we move into our relaxation and meditation. So you can bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees wide. From here, arms out, palms up, or hands to opposite forearms and drop the arms behind your head if you want some more hip opening. If you have tension in the hips and low back, bring the feet to the floor, take them wide, drop the knees in to support each other, and release the arms down. If you'd like your true corpse pose or Shavasana, then take the legs out. Legs roll out from the midline, arms roll out from the midline, and you just soften the spine down onto the mat. Or you can come up to a seated position. You can also roll onto your side, you can roll onto your belly, however you would like to arrange your body so that you can get into a nice calm state and find some stillness. Once you find a good position for your body, you can soften your gaze into the distance or gently close your eyes. Bring your awareness into the breath. Take a few long, slow, deep breaths to transition you into a stillness. Feel each in-breath inflate the belly and lungs, and let each out-breath empty you completely. Let your senses support you here. Notice the sounds around you, my voice, but also what's going on in your environment. Noticing those sounds, but not attaching to them. Notice the body. Feel your clothing against your skin. Feel the air around you. Let the breath come at its natural pace and rhythm, without judgment or trying to change it. Let all that go. As you breathe in, notice the parts of the body that lift and grow lighter. And as you breathe out, notice the parts of the body that sink and grow heavy. Each in-breath brings a little more lightness. Each out-breath, a little more heaviness. Feel your weight sink into the earth. And feel the support. You can let go completely. You are supported. Now see if you can find a space between each inhale and exhale. between the lightness and the heaviness. A space where the breath feels suspended in time. The body feels suspended in midair. Use your breath as an anchor to keep you in that space. Always returning to the breath. Again and again and again. Trusting yourself to stay with the breath as we spend the next few moments in silence. Keeping your eyes closed, just notice how you feel. Notice if the mind has wandered. Remember that that's okay. We are human, and that's what our minds do. Mindfulness, meditation, they're not goals to achieve. It's a practice. Returning to the breath and letting go of the thoughts again and again and again. Notice how you feel in this moment, mentally, physically, emotionally, without any thoughts of how you should feel. Just be with yourself. Allow the breath to deepen, starting to re-energize the body and mind. Allow movement to come back slowly, maybe wiggling the fingers and toes. rolling the head from side to side, stretching the body long, whatever you need to gently bring you back into the day. When you're ready, returning to a comfortable seated position, even on the sit bones, tall through the crown of your head, soft and relaxed through the neck and shoulders. Taking one more big deep breath, gathering all the love and energy in the room and bringing it to your heart. Thank you for being here with me today.